What's up, guys? My name is Gus Robertson, Financial Dad. Hope everybody's doing well. Look, my social media content is solely focused on the total financial picture, whether it's business or personal. We hit on mindset as well as execution. Doesn't matter if it's financial products, insurance products, or investment real estate. I talk about it all. I believe that I'm well educated on all of them, and I believe that they are all interconnected. And in today's world, I know this for a fact that you cannot have any success at all without incorporating all three into your life. Personally, I've started thinking about this a couple weeks ago, but personally, I hate taking advice. I hate the word financial advisor. I just don't like it. Most advice that we all get, it all goes through one ear and it goes out the other, no matter how great it is. I think that what I've noticed about myself, let's say over like the last 5 years, if you can show me on paper, lay it out for me, that is something that I can follow. That is something I've incorporated into my business, whether it's real estate or investments, as well as it just in our business model here. If you can show somebody on paper and give them systems and processes on how to do something, then they will follow it. But advice, I just don't think that people really take advice. I don't think they want it. It wasn't asked for. So I kind of look at it like this is, if you break it down to something that a lot of people can understand. If you have a coach and the coach asks you say, hey coach, how can I get better? And he gives you like one or two things. Then he just walks off. Hey, you can go run, you can go do this or whatever. But that's advice. But if Seth Curry came up to you and said, hey, I shoot 500 balls before 10 o'clock in the morning, you shoot 500 balls. You shoot 500 balls every day. Send me a text or call me at the end of the week and tell me that you shot 500 balls every day. Then that's a blueprint. That is a blueprint for success. And most people can understand that. So today I'm going to talk about 7 strategies that we incorporate into every part of our business, whether in my business as well as our personal life. And what I mean by personal life is not to sound like I'm so I don't know, frigid or whatever. I mean our personal investments, as well as I incorporate this into my clients. This blueprint is for any idea that I have or for any client that comes to me. So I believe that it works across all spectrums of not just business, but ideas as well as investments. The 7 strategies are very simple. They're almost so simple that people just won't do it. I think that people overcomplicate things and because they want it to be difficult, because the more difficult it is, then they don't have to do it. And so let's hit it. So number 1 is communicate. Number 2 is make a plan, not a goal, but a plan. Number 3, name 3 very specific things that can help your plan succeed, and use the KISS principle on that. Earnings, decide how much you have or you need to make your plan work. Execute the plan with intensity. That's a big one. We'll go into that one. And then one of the hardest ones is you have to cut off all naysayers, all social media, everybody that's listening to you. And that's why I try to tell my clients that once you have a plan and you're like in the infancy steps of your plan, just don't tell anybody. Talk to the people that you're communicating with, and that's about it. But if you start going to everybody with this plan, especially if you're actually executing it, then you'll get every reason why not to do it. And we'll get into that. So number 7 is accountability. Let's get into each one of them. So communicate. Personally, I used to be a terrible communicator. Still hard for me now. I believe that everybody knows what I know, and I have figured out that is not the truth. There's a lot of things I don't know. I think it was way more out of my wanting for things to happen quicker. Especially in the business and financial world, if you are executing and it just doesn't happen on your timeline, then that's a big deal for someone in business. Me not wanting anyone to know that I wasn't there yet, that was a big one for me. So the communication part of it, what I mean by that is, so you have to get outside of your comfort zone. You have to talk to somebody that is already there. They are already where you want to be, and that's the ego and pride thing for a lot of people. Sometimes you can't talk to your spouse. You won't be able to talk to your best friend. You probably won't be able to talk to your family. It needs to be somebody that's going to give you the hard truth, not talk you out of it, but somebody that is going to help you with the next steps, but it's somebody that will talk real language to you and real words about this plan that you have. I was talking earlier with a client of mine and with a friend client of mine, and his plan was he ready to move? Well, he didn't have a plan yet. His question was he ready to move forward from what he probably considers a smaller business and then be able to hire employees and then take it to the next level? He's got a solid business plan, but then I don't know if he was talking to me to get advice, but I believe that he would be better served to maybe take what I told him and then go talk to somebody that is in his arena that can say, okay, man, these are the pitfalls that I had. These are the struggles that I had, but you're in a good spot to do what you need to do. So he's communicated with somebody that can give him real world advice and help with his plan. And that same person you want to keep in your life is not a one and out. The communication part of this is where the majority of the people fail, is this person, this trusted friend that you believe can give you solid advice. They are there to tell you no. If it's a no, they tell you why no. Not everything can be yes. And so not every business idea can be yes. Not every, plan inside the business might be great, but what we're going to talk about next, but one of your 3 steps to execute that business plan may be faulty. And that person can help you with that. Instead of, like, if I ask my wife or if I ask my dad, they're going to give me their advice because they don't want to see me fail. Maybe I need to do the things that are going to make it hard on me, so maybe I need to fail. And I think that that's part of the communication part of it. Whatever the plan is, but let's just say it is financial based. Or I can go back to him and say, we'll just use his. So his is tech, marketing. So whatever that plan is, but let's just say it is financial, and let's just say that you're in the investing world. That takes a special person to even start that plan. There are so many reasons out there why you shouldn't start a plan, or you'll be told why you shouldn't start a plan. You're going to find every reason in the world to not start a plan. And every person listens and hears things differently. So the plan has to be different. It's not a broad paintbrush for every single person. A plan for a 20-year-old is way different than a plan for a 40-year-old that's already got financial obligations, a house, kids, business. So the plan has to be specifically for whatever is going on in that person's life. Number 3, I call this one just keep it simple. You're going to come up with 3 strategies that are going to help you implement your plan. Just 3. Any more than 3, you're not going to do it. And so it becomes like super overwhelming for somebody if you're trying to say, okay, I'm going to start this investment and these are the 3 things that I need to do, then those 3 things can be followed. Those 3 things can be long lasting. And the majority of the time it really does, people do complicate the process, and it just doesn't have to be that way. But the overall plan is to always keep your eyes on the prize. Always look at the finished product. Don't look at it as a goal. It's just a plan. And I just find that when people, whether it's fitness or finance or business, they have this goal, but there's no execution there. There's no 3 steps to make it happen. And so there's a lot of failure there also. The next strategy, which is number 4, this is a tough one for people. When you're looking at people's finances and they have an idea, and if they're truthful with themselves, then they understand that their current finances is what they're living off of. This idea that they have, or this investment that they want to make. Everybody wants to. I don't want to use any of my money. There is no plan. So I am more of a facts-based person. So and I think it serves me, my clients, as well as my business practices. We look at the facts, and a lot of people just don't like facts. And this is whenever I'm talking or thinking about bringing on a new client, whenever they come and sit down, and that takes a lot of time for me to do that. But when we sit down with somebody, instead of me advising them, again, we're coming up with a plan. And this is where I either win them over with my plan, or I lose them because they think it's going to be too difficult. For a lot of people, telling them that they have to make choices to hit the plan is a slap in the face. And financial choices like give up something or go do more. and we'll go into that. For a lot of people, I do find this, it's not an income issue. A lot of people don't have income issues. It's the lack of understanding that cutting your income or cutting your expenses is not the answer. So I'm going to say that again. A lot of people that I meet with, cutting their expenses is not the answer to a path forward. It's just not. This is where I break out my famous, that all my employees laugh at me about, where I break out my 168 hours a week. And I ask them, what are they doing with their time? There are too many people out there that believe that working 40 hours a week and using earned income, W-2 income, made from your job is the only path forward. And that's very difficult for a lot of people to go work 40 to 45 hours a week and then use the income from that job to either invest, start a business, buy real estate. It is very difficult without help. And so, and that's just not a great business strategy for what you're trying to do in regards to executing your plan. This is a little side note that I tell a lot of my clients. And it's crazy that people don't believe me whenever I tell you this. The amount of money and jobs that there are in the world right now, even just in my area, there are so many jobs where people can go make extra money. And we're not talking about crazy amount of money or crazy amount of time. I just believe that people just don't want to do it. So again, instead of cutting out what you were spending, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that if you're a crazy spender or something like that, but sometimes that's not the answer. Sometimes the answer is you need to do more. And that's a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow. Do more. Number 5 is execute. And this is probably one of the all the steps are important, but the execution phase of it is where a lot of people just kind of stop. The 4 other steps are hard, but the execution phase of basically just being able to see it through, getting enthusiastic about it. Maybe you're having daily or weekly conversations with your trusted individual that's holding you accountable. Or maybe you're not. So if you're not doing that, this is where the execution phase becomes pretty difficult. Being able to communicate the steps that you are taking to see the plan through, for most people, and especially men, that's where you feel like you're winning something. That's where you feel like that you're on the other side of the mountain, where you can pat yourself on the back a little bit, and that will make a man or somebody pat you on the back. They're seeing you do these things, and then it just makes you go harder. That's all it does. It just makes you want to take these steps and just go harder. Number 6, once you take the above steps, we talked about this initially, but once you take the above steps, you're going to have to distance yourself away from people. You'll see this all over social media, whereas one of the criteria about why people fail is they didn't just start to run their mouth and they start to tell people about what they're doing. And you're just not at a place yet where you have showed a consistency, where you're not disciplined enough, where you're not executing fully. And so then you go around and you tell everybody what you're doing, and then the people that have been with you for forever up until that point, whether again it's family, spouse, friends, people that you do things with, that you hang out with, they're going to pull you down because they don't understand. Now, not all of them, but it's really difficult for a person to be enthusiastic for another person if they're not doing it themselves. And I use this a lot today. The main reason why a lot of men, and probably women, but I'm not a woman, so why a lot of men are falling into the trap of not feeling successful is because they got so much disappointment in their life that seeing somebody else as a success is very difficult for them. It checks their ego and their pride, and they just can't get over it. Number 6 is like vital. It's huge in my life. I cut out a ton of people in my life that I thought that were just super important. Not bad people. Not all of them were bad. Some of them were bad. But whether it was business partners or friends or family, I got rid of or cut out a lot of people in my life that just weren't on the same place as I was. What I mean by cut people out is that stop asking people that aren't doing what you're doing or aren't doing what you're trying to do or have never done it. Stop asking them for advice. That's all it is advice. It's not a plan. There's a big difference between a plan and advice. If you ask your mom what her advice is on you investing or doing whatever in a business, she's going to give you advice based on you not wanting to fail. And your friends are going to give you terrible advice because maybe they secretly want you to fail. Maybe they don't want you to stop playing basketball with them on Wednesday nights. It's a crazy thing. But I think that who you ask for guidance to help you with your plan and your blueprint is the number one. That's more important than any step here. If you ask the wrong person for their input and they give you their input, you won't even make it to step number 2. And so I think that's one of the most important steps. Number 7 is accountability. This is I'm not going to say this is important as number 1, communication, but this is where you're actually proud of what you have done. You've done these 7 steps. You've incorporated them maybe into all aspects of whether it's investments, whether it's a business idea, whatever it is, you've incorporated these 7 steps. And you failed, and you have come again, and you failed again, and you're trying again. And this is where having that person or persons or getting involved in certain associations or groups, these people will hold you accountable because you're the one that set the plan, not them. You went to them for input and they gave it to you. And so, and you made a plan and you said, hey, listen, I'm going to come back here every 2 weeks, every month, and we're going to sit down and we're going to see if I'm doing this. And if you do it, they'll probably keep working with you. If you're not seeing the plan through, then they'll just push you off because you're just another broke loser with a plan that didn't succeed. And so that's the point of accountability. And my wife says this a lot, and this is a big one. She said, adulting sucks. I think the reason why she says that is because there's nobody holding her hand anymore, nobody telling her what to do. And that's where the accountability comes into it. And this is why it is extremely vital that you establish the accountability up front with that person and or multiple people and whatever groups that you're a part of. So as you can tell in my practice and in my businesses that I'm involved in, our strategy is the same throughout whether it's a client or my business or investments or real estate. It doesn't matter what it is. The strategy is all the same. And it's all about creating a solid plan that can be followed. I said this earlier, but most people hate advice. It goes in one ear and out the other. Most of the time it's not even asked for. Advice sounds like it's coming from a parent or a teacher. It sounds like it's, for me, whenever it always sounded like somebody was disappointed in me. Like they want to give me advice to make me better, but again, there was no execution, no plan. That's why I hate the term financial advisor. If you listen to most of them, it's just advice. There's no plan, there's no blueprint, there's no accountability. It's just do it or don't. They want to work with not all of them, some of them are really good, but they want to work with the A students, the people who listen and walk the line. And but the people that are actually trying to create a plan and live by it and start small and build, you'll find that a lot of financial advice doesn't really pertain to them. A good one that I heard yesterday was this guy went on there and said, well, if by 30 years old, you've bought 10 rental houses. Or another one was if you invested $160,000 in your kid's 529 college fund when they're born, then you'll never have to put another dime in that college fund again. And all the comments just is like everything I was thinking in my mind, all the comments were like, dude, who is this guy talking to? And so the majority of the people that have that kind of money aren't looking at what these guys are saying. They've already made plans. They've already built up. They have already came up with a strategy and a plan, and they live by it. And both of those, even though they're two separate animals, they are in the family of what I talk about and what we do here. Okay, so again, a simple strategy for you guys. Go back and write down these 7 strategies. If you have something that is financial or business or real estate or whatever investment that you have, put these 7 strategies into your plan, and I 100% believe that this will reduce the frustration that you have in creating a plan, and it will actually give you a plan with accountability. And I think that that's a good path forward. But thank you for listening. I appreciate all of you. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them below. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great day.